Welcome back to FryMinis. I'm Eric, and today we're going to take a look at cosmic horror, a horror genre featured in Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. Okay, so this is probably, I think, going to be my favorite kind. The big, scary, eldritch being, the vast unknowingness. It's just, that's the kind of stuff I like. Not the body horror stuff, I don't know. Others, like thriller, killer stuff, I don't know. This is my jam. Okay, so let's dive right in. Cosmic horror revolves around the fear of personal insignificance. The genre is predicated on the idea of entities so vast and so genuinely beyond our comprehension that we cannot fathom their simplest motivations. To see them is to become lost in their magnitude and the evidence that we have never, will never, and could never matter to the cosmos at large. The genre deals with how alien forces might alter us, perverting our expectations and understanding of autonomy, debasing our minds, and separating us from what makes us human. Sometimes it is the result of a process we invite, other times it simply happens, an accident of circumstance we can only hope to survive. However you spin it, this genre involves a loss of control, an absence of autonomy, and the sense of insignificance within an indifferent universe. That's it right there. The idea that aliens are out there, that they're not Klingons, more that they are just some like incomprehensible, like the different level of existence that there's nothing we can do. We're their playthings, kind of. That's spooky. That's what gets me. In addition, consider the following genre tropes when creating your cosmic horror domain. There is no good or evil, no law or chaos. Be vague. Cosmic horror emerges through imagination and the indescribable, not details. At its best, cosmic horror makes characters feel gradually unmoored from their familiar reality. Cosmic horror is about the ineffable forces driven by motivations humans can't understand. Cults, forbidden books, and strange symbols form the cornerstones of cosmic horror. The genre has a history of framing marginalized demographics as monstrous and stigmatizing mental illness. Be aware and avoid those tropes. I love all those bullets. Those are all great. And just like body horror, the last bullet is key. I am absolutely thrilled that Wizards of the Coast took time to include these bullets. Monsters that work well in cosmic horror adventures enact change on their unwilling victims. Cosmic horror focuses on unknowable entities and creatures that see into the minds of their enemies and use what they find against them. Any monster can easily be modified to suit adventures in this genre, perhaps being controlled by hidden intelligence or vast cosmic force. So we've got a list of cosmic monsters here. They are sorted by CR, so the last one is the strongest, first one's the weakest. MM means Monster Manual, and VGR is Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. Koatua, Intellect Devourer, Pentadrone, Brain in a Jar, Githyanki Warrior, Grell, Vampiric Mind Flayer, Body Taker Plant, Mind Flayer, Yuan-Ti Abomination, Unspeakable Horror, Aboleth, Beholder, Lesser Starspawn Emissary, Greater Starspawn Emissary, and Kraken. It's a great list. I don't really have anything to add. It's a really good list. When the cosmic horror villains are mortal, they're wretched creatures perpetuating unimaginable horrors in the hope of an outcome they can't properly articulate. Beyond them are monstrous beings, the spawn of horrors or those who have come to think of themselves as such. Past these harbingers are true cosmic horrors, inscrutable beings, godlike terrors, and the embodiments of forces unlikely to be interacted with and whose very beings are likely anathema to characters. So we have a D8 list here of cosmic horror villains. A smiling minstrel with yellow eyes and music that drives listeners to murder. A priest obsessed with creating a shelter that will preserve her through the coming apocalypse. The mayor of a town who will do anything to make sure the citizens finish their sacred transformation. An astronomer broken and enraptured by what they saw in the stars. An old scientist convinced he must make his body the perfect host for an ageless being's emissary. A coroner who believes a message is being relayed to him through the bodies he autopsies. The head librarian of an ancient sect who seeks secrets hidden within her peers. A spoiled noble who intends to raise a cult to feed to the realm they want to access. Those are all great. My favorite there would be the astronomer who looked into the stars and just broke. It's terrifying. Dark Lords in this genre are endowed with powers stemming from their studies or ancestry, or granted by ancient numinosities, a word everyone knows. Dark Lords in cosmic horror realms commonly suffer psychological torments. The cosmic horror torments table is a D8 table. The Dark Lord is obsessed with music, their body warping to embody whatever song they hear. The Dark Lord is transforming into a long-extinct being or something from the far-flung future. The Dark Lord sees multiple dimensions at once and is going blind from their incandescence. The Dark Lord is haunted by otherworldly masters that whisper from reflective surfaces. The Dark Lord incubates something within them, an entity that slowly eats through their skin. The Dark Lord is emptying of their own thoughts and filling with the voices of their scrolls. The Dark Lord randomly screams their master's words, messages that etch upon stone and flesh. And any object the Dark Lord sees is drained of all but one portentous color. The second one, the far-flung future, I think that's my favorite. Cosmic horror frequently takes place in academic or maritime settings, both of which imply access to hidden knowledge, whether literal or metaphorical. When not in mortal realms, cosmic horror dimensions tend towards unnatural, logic-defying places. Cosmic horror settings table is a D8. A wind-blasted dimension of indigo sand and eyeless statues. A world with slowly vanishing land masses being consumed by an obsidian sea. A kingdom of rusting spires ruled by oblivious academics. A land possessed by fear of the colossi that move only during dawn and dusk. A red ocean that manifested without warning. An ambulatory forest riddled with glowing eyes. A kingdom of undying monarchs who outnumber their frightened subjects. A dimension of featureless white broken up only by the eyes that blink across the landscape. Excellent. My favorite would be the colossi that only move during dawn and dusk. I think that easily inspires some pretty cool. We just have to wait. We just have to make it through. We just have to survive kind of scenarios. Cosmic horror is rarely overt, save at critical moments, relying on creating subtle but growing unease and leaving details to the imagination. Our cosmic horror adventure site is a D8 table. A hidden floor of the Royal Library, the 9th basement beneath a family home that seems normal from the outside. A decrepit manor, empty save for staff who swear their lord is merely preoccupied. A small inn in the mountains that smells perpetually of brine. The place in the forest where all the animals come to die. A fortress manned by paladins, all of whom removed their own tongues. A sewage system that predates the city above. A thin chapel in the woods whose bells ring without ceasing. Small inn in the mountains. Spooky. Anytime you've got that kind of isolated feeling out in the middle of nowhere with all this weird stuff going on. Yeah, that's good. Adventures in cosmic horror realms are bleak, desperate affairs where the best one can hope for is to survive relatively intact. There is no stopping the ultimate evil, but players may aspire to temporarily seal it away. And our cosmic horror plots table is another D8. Help a parent recover a child who's gone missing in the impossibly vast space underneath their bed. Stop a sapient, unholy tome from reaching a group of cultists. Save the inheritors of an ancient sect before they transform into horrors. Stop the sacrifice of a young noble by those who believe the noble's grandchild will end the world. Find and stop the musician whose music has robbed entire cities of sleep. Survive an evening in the sinking ancestral home of a hydrophobic family. Discover what is dragging the people of a hamlet out of their homes, garbing them in silver, and leading them into the surf to drown. Learn why the bakers of a small town have started making pastries filled with popular, delicious, and faintly glowing blue goo. I'll be honest, I mean, those are all fine, but none of those really grab me. I think those are all totally okay. Not as evocative as the other tables. I think the takeaway from this one was the language about that you can't stop it. You just hope to survive, maybe seal it away, but just get out of its way. I think that's very scary, especially with the idea of in D&D where you've got these characters that can do so much stuff. And imagine if you're doing a cosmic horror and you're like level 20 where you're as powerful as something can be and you just need to survive. I think that's really cool and can create some really cool ideas. And again, just for me personally, fighting the unknowable is, I don't know, I'm sure I've got some stuff to unpack there. So what do you think of cosmic horror? What kind of cosmic horror games would you like to run? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with more Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft coverage.